Grant.
Literally saying the same thing.
Oh my gosh, that guy. So talented. Go.
First question.
Go.
I want to know
How many wells are we seeing? Oh yeah.
What is it?
I know about that shirt. Love
That
it.
shirt is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a beach on Nantucket. And I walked in to this little shack and they're selling this thing. I was like, no way. And so I bought like a bunch.
Oh, good.
Does Carlos like it?
Podcast.
Got one for Carlos. And then if they treat me nice, maybe they'll get it.
You got to get them all wearing it and take a picture.
If they treat me
and
nice.
post it.
It depends on their behavior. They can't just be rewarded and given things. They're semi-famous. It's like, you know, like when people keep giving gifts. It's like, you know what? Now you have money. Go get your own Diet Coke.
So I know you're not sure. I'm sure you're not say what type of hairspin you're playing this season, but can you at least
I can tell you.
You can tell us.
Can you tell us how many?
Oh my.
3,000 this season.
No, 52.
It will be more than one. Okay, hang on a second. So obviously, the shadow of the Reverse Flash is probably the most prominent shadow that I cast on this television show. And then within that, underneath that shadow, you know, I try and come up with a bunch of different things. And this year, my methodology in the past has been to try to see where perhaps we might have availability. Grant is so winning, Danielle is so winning, you know, Candace is so winning. All these people are so winning. So I thought, you know, it'd be great if we had like a daily asshole. You know what I mean? And that's what the genesis of Harry Wells was. He's no social graces. He's a bit of a dick, but ultimately, and you think because of what's gone before with Reverse Flash, he's going to be the villain, and then he actually he's a good person inside, and he like is filled with loyalty. And then this next season was like, well, you know, we could do a little more comedy. Season 2 was dark, and then we had HR. Last year, I very much knew that I wanted to play. I liked when in season 3, Harry and HR would do scenes together, and HR loved Harry, and Harry couldn't stand HR. And that was so much fun to do. I thought, wouldn't it be great if within the actual story that we're telling, the overarching story, we had that kind of dynamic? And so that became Sherlock Wells trying to track down the Reverse Flash and trying to figure out who was helping Nora, and that was a delight to play, because ultimately it was like, we are helping. Oh, it's me, the Reverse Flash. You know, so that was a privilege to be able to do that. And this year the guy will be a swashbuckling, bit of a rogue, bit of an adventurer, living a life of intrigue, possible deceit, and maybe a little of sensuality. That sounded pretty good, actually, when I just threw that out there. I just made that up, and I was like, not bad, kid.
And is he coming sooner or maybe later?
Yes. That's all you get.
Okay, fair enough, thank you.
You're welcome. I feel like it's a direct answer. I like your shirt, by the way. Yeah.
As an actor, of all the Wells you've played, what's been the most fun or most challenging for you?
That table asked me, what's the question you dislike the most?
That one. I win.
No. And I don't mean with no malice do I say that. It's just, for me, like shepherding along. First off, being on a show that's run more than 3-4 episodes is a privilege, right? And I think I approach it with a little bit of a different perspective than some of the younger castmates, only because I know how rare this is and how fleeting this will be. And even though it seems like a long time, the show will be over and done and in the rearview mirror for all of us, and there'll be another thing, and so like I think you want to be grateful for what you have, and the ability to be on a long running show and also create multiple characters as opposed to just playing Sam Malone on Cheers, which is genius if you get that opportunity, to be able to play the Reverse Flash, which is the Joker to the Batman, and to also invent a number of 17, I think by lost count, someone told me, different Wells, is like, that's when you want to talk privilege, that's really like a definition of privilege for me. I'm just really grateful for it. And so it takes, even though maybe it seems like they just threw that out there, it takes a long time to figure out what exactly to do, and I wouldn't put them up on screen for you guys to judge and evaluate unless I really enjoyed them. And so beyond the Reverse Flash, which is always like, yeah, that's the raison d'etre. Beyond that, like, I can't really pick and choose. The one that I'm playing that day, I'm very grateful to be playing. That sounds politically correct, but it's also true.
Do you ever have ideas for a new version of your character that you want to pitch to the writers and be like, this should be the next version that I want to play? Do you ever have ideas
all of them.
for? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, Greg Berlanti and I have, you know who Greg Berlanti is. I don't have to. Yeah.
Who?
Nailed it. You're on the wrong side of the lens, my friend.
Move your
But Greg and I, Greg is like, look, hey, we got, once we told the Reverse Flash story, season 1, Greg and I, our first 2 shows that we did together were kind of, one lasted 1 season, one lasted 3, but had the Sword of Damocles hanging over it, and we were just kind of like, I remember Greg saying, I want to do Flash because I love Flash, and if it just lasts 1 season like the others, we'll have that DVD on the desk, which dates him because he said DVD. But he loves the Flash so much he wanted to do 1 season. I think they did a great job storytelling. Ultimately, that season was Flash versus Reverse Flash. Flash has a chance to go back and write the most egregious thing that's ever happened and doesn't to save the world. And you have the face-off between the 2 guys. And once we finished that, we're like, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like, and I didn't want to be the Harrison Wells without being the Reverse Flash. And Greg was like, let's come up with different guys. And they've been, the writing staff and the producers have been like phenomenal in terms of like, what would you like to do? You know what I mean? Because it's inclusive. And like the thing, I don't try and do it to be indulgent. I try and do it to help the show. And it feels like worthy. Danielle, this is very version of like, you don't want to talk to me if that's available to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your